You know that voice in your head that says you're not good enough? That voice says you're not smart enough. That voice also says you're not qualified enough. The voice in your head is your inner critic, and your inner critic is absolutely destroying you. And I was reminded of this over the past few days, literally since I talked to you last week on these videos. I've had so many conversations where so many of you, your negative self-talk, you don't even realize that what you're saying to yourself is now coming out publicly. And I found myself in conversations and I said to those I was talking to, do you realize? Do you realize that your self-talk, you're now verbalizing that to me. So I know if you're saying it to me, I know what you're saying to yourself. And it reminded me of a great video that Steve Harvey did a couple of years ago, The Secret to Stop Negative Thinking. And what I love about Steve Harvey's video is he has a quote in that video, change your attitude and you'll change your altitude. In today's career conversation, let's talk about that advice, how to change your attitude so you change your altitude and stop the negative self-talk. Now, just a level set here, self-talk is your inner dialogue. It is what you say to yourself about yourself. So if you understand that your self-talk can be negative or positive, that's really the two sides of the self-talk that's the internal dialogue that you're having with yourself. So understand if your internal dialogue in the morning is I'm going to have a great day, the sun is out, today's going to be awesome. I don't love my job, but I'm glad I have a job. I don't love my car, but I'm glad I have a car to drive. Then you're setting your intention for the day. If you wake up in the morning and I'm not a morning person, then you're immediately setting a negative intention for the day. If you wake up and say, I hate my job, I don't want to get out of bed, you're setting a negative intention for the day. That is where the negative internal dialogue sets your intention. And as we said last week, you all remember the mindset formula is self-belief control thoughts, thoughts control feelings, feelings control actions. If you wake up telling yourself you're going to have a bad day, then you're going to have a bad day. If you wake up positive about what's in front of you, the opportunities may come that you can't see, then you're setting your intention to be positive for the day. And that's what I loved about the Steve Harvey video and why I wanted to bring these tips to you today, because your negative self-talk is absolutely destroying you. And I'll link to the video, the Steve Harvey video, below in the description. It's also now on my YouTube channel. So I will make sure you have access to that so that you can see that entire 4-minute video. But to Steve's point, in order to change your attitude, you're going to change your altitude. And that starts with changing the way you're thinking. You have to absolutely be mindful of the negative self-talk. If it's positive self-talk, let's play on that. Let's do more positive self-talk. It says it's a negative self-talk, you have to absolutely quell that and call it out and stop it in the moment, because it's only when you challenge your inner critic that you can actually put that critic to rest. So if you're mindful of your self-talk and the internal dialogue you're having with yourself, and you understand you have to challenge your inner critic so that they're not winning the internal battle in your head every day, because what you're thinking, as we said, controls your actions, controls your feelings, and that is when your negative self-talk not only is doing internal damage, but then it starts to do external damage as well. So I want to leave you with this thought and really want you to understand, like the mindset formula, if you train your mind to see the positive, then your focus will find the positive. If you train your mind to see the negative, then your mind will focus on the negative. That's the intentionality piece. That if you train your mind in the morning, today's a great day, you're setting your intention that your mind is going to find the positive for the rest of the day. If you start your morning, you start your day anytime during your day where you're focused on the negative, then your mind is going to absolutely follow the negative. Setting your intention, changing your attitude and your altitude training your mind to see the positive, not the negative, they are all absolutely in your control. But you have to be willing. You have to be willing to silence that inner critic. And as I said, the conversations I had last week, the people I were talking to, they didn't even realize that they were verbalizing the negative self talk externally. So think of how many times you've set that negative intention for your day, and that negativity is now coming out of you in every conversation, in every meeting, in every interaction. And now you're destroying any credibility you have externally because your negative self talk internally is now becoming external. And for the folks I talked to last week, I said to them, we got to work on silencing your inner critic. But what I said to them was, that is only a choice that you can make. I can coach, I can teach, I can help you, but at the end of the day, you have to set your intention every day, all day, and you can be grateful or you can focus on the things you don't have. You can focus on the positive or you can dwell on the negative. You can change your attitude or you can change your altitude. The choice truly is yours. I love that there's some great comments coming in as we're having this conversation this morning. So let me just get to a couple of those. Positive thinking is the secret to everything. It will help you get through your day. It can change how others see and treat. I completely agree with that statement. And I will tell you, good morning, Lauren. I will tell you the conversations I had last week bothered me probably more than it bothered the individuals that I was talking to because they truly, Eileen, to your point, it is a secret to everything, but they just had no idea that even in casual conversations, I could pick up on all the negative thoughts they had about themselves that day. I mean, I literally just started writing them down. And then I said, hey, wait a minute, do you realize what you just said? And it was kind of that moment where they didn't because they're so used to the negative self talk. They didn't realize they were now verbalizing it to me. So you're right. The positive thinking is everything. And Lauren, I love what you say about our negative inner critic can no doubt it is. You become in a downward spiral. Because if you think about it, as I said, you hate your job. Why not say, I don't love the job I have right now, but it's a job I have until the next one comes along. And I'm working towards that next one. I don't love the car I drive, but I'm working towards the next one. It's the intentionality as to where your mind focuses. That is the key piece. If you look at the negative, your mind will follow the negative. And yes, Chris, only positive vibes. And look, I'm not naive. All of us have bad days. All of us have negative thoughts. But if you let those negative thoughts absolutely take over, your mindset and your internal self dialogue. Yes, you can have them every once in a while, but it's important that you silence that inner critic as soon as they pop up. And Chris, you're exactly right. Your intent determines how you approach the situation. And people don't realize the intentionality internally becomes their intentionality externally. The two go hand in hand. It's the positive, the negative is the internal, it's the external. And that becomes absolutely critical to everything that we think, how we act, how we feel. Opposites attract when it comes to mindset and self-talk. Similars truly attract. Self-positive attract. I see what you're saying, Chris. Thank you. Self-positive, you put that back up. I kind of muffled that a little bit. Self-positive talk attracts positive outcomes. That's exactly right. And Chris, that is the intentionality. That is absolutely the intentionality. Self positive talk will attract positive outcomes 100%. Good morning, Judy. I am so grateful that you joined us as well. And for all of you who are here, whether you're watching, hey, Sebastian, good morning. It's good to see you again. It's been a while. I'm so glad you are joining us. And Sebastian, you have some great content on mindset and some other pieces as well. So I'm so grateful that you're here this morning. And as you can see from this dialogue, whether you're here live, whether you're watching this on the replay, we can all give you advice, we can coach, we can teach, but I can't tell you enough how important it is that you focus on that self-talk and your inner dialogue. Do you even realize? Do you even realize what you're saying to yourself? And Chris, you're right. Let's see, is your intentionality a conscious decision you make? Chris, it's both conscious and sort of subconscious. I think we get so used to the negative self-talk. We're not good enough. We're not smart enough. Someone said it to me last week. They were not qualified enough for a job that they wanted to apply for. And I said, wait a minute, you need to go back and watch my other video on applying for jobs, whether you meet, two of the 10 qualifications or five of the 10. It's not about the qualification piece of the equation. So, Chris, when you asked me, is it conscious decision? It can be, yes. The intentionality piece is where you have to be intentional about silencing your inner critic, because the inner critic is holding you back in so many incredible ways. And Sebastian says he's all about intentional life. And yes, you're exactly right. And Sebastian, I thank you for mentioning mental health obstacles, because those are real. Absolutely, those are real. And I know that as people are dealing with mental health challenges of all types right now, and have been, but as the mental health crisis continues to exacerbate, then yes, I think you're right. Practice, structure, strategic actions. I love the way you talk about that, Sebastian, to counter negative thoughts, but also to get the help you need. I have a couple of folks in my coaching program who suffer from depression, and we have to talk about how that shows up every day, how that impacts their intentionality, and sometimes even how it impacts them in ways that they don't even anticipate. So I love that, yes, there are resources there for people who have mental health challenges, but I also love that we can have those conversations with each other in the circle of trust that we all have here to really help one another. And, in this community that we're building, that's what it's all about. It's helping each other. And I love that, Sebastian, you've offered that advice this morning. Ramona, good morning. Thanks for joining us. I think you're here for the first time today. Love the point that we may not notice that we have negative self-talk. Like I said, Ramona, it hit me hard last week having those conversations with and I tell you, it was 4 different people, and all of them had that common theme in mind. Um, Sebastian, I want that T-shirt. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. My friend, I'm going to follow up with you offline. That is an awesome, awesome T-shirt that I need. So I definitely want to. I definitely need to get that T-shirt. But look, all of you who are here this morning, thank you. I hope that this is first time. This is great. Thanks, Ramona. I appreciate that comment. I want you to set your intention this week. It's Monday morning. Are you going to have a positive intention this week? Or are you going to have a negative intention? Are you going to say I'm not a morning person, I hate Mondays? Or are you going to say, you know what, Monday's a start to a great week? And I'll leave you with this thought. I have kind of come to adopt the mantra, and you may have positive affirmations: there are no more bad days. There are no more bad days. Ever since I lost my father 2 years ago, there are no more bad days. Because I know that this life is short, and what we do with it really makes a difference. So my mantra on my phone, I have a positive affirmation that says, I didn't wake up to be mediocre today. I didn't wake up to be mediocre today. There are no more bad days, and that's the intention I have set for myself. Yeah, there could be some tough times that happen during the day, but there are no more bad days. So I challenge you this week, I encourage you this week, decide to set a positive intention for your week, for your day, for the next hour, if that's where you want to start. But progress is about incremental progress every single day. Don't try to conquer the world. Set a negative intention just for the day, and then carry it to tomorrow, and then Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then Friday. And as Chris said, watch the positive thoughts attract positive outcomes. So thank you all for being here this morning. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't yet. I'll see you on Thursday.